Okay guys, today we're gonna work on a headstand tutorial. I've gotten a few people requesting that from me, so I'm gonna just walk you through like simply how to enter headstand. I definitely would suggest doing even a 10 to 15 minute warm-up flow just to get your body moving and warm. And you can choose from any of the ones that are on my channel here as well. And then as we think about entering headstand, like what are you working? So contrary to what it's called, you're not like using your head. You're not putting weight in your head. There's nothing that your head is really doing besides just offering some balancing for you. So you're working your core, we're working the forearms, the shoulders, a lot. So when you think about it that way, it's good to test out with some prep poses, which I actually have on my Instagram. I have like a few prep poses that I use. So like puppy pose to open the shoulders, holding forearm plank. Boat pose is great for the core too. So you want to think about how you can strengthen those individual areas before trying to connect them all as a whole. So if you're thinking about entering headstand, we'll just start on all fours in a tabletop position, and then we'll bring the elbows to the mat here as well. Toes can stay tucked, it doesn't really matter here. What I want you to focus on right now with your elbows, they always want to be shoulder width apart. So the easiest way to test that out is simply just bringing the hands, opposite hands to opposite elbows here. And as long as they are reaching the fingertips or slightly to the fingertips, that should be a good distance. Now, once we're there, that's when you want to clasp the hands. So this is how I learned how to headstand. I didn't learn the tripod way, so I'm just going to teach the way I'm more comfortable doing a headstand in. So once you have the elbow shoulder width apart and you have that clasp, think about that is where the back of your head's going to go. So you don't want your forehead, the third eye, you don't even want the crown of your head on the mat. You want the actual like middle top of the head on the mat, and you're going to use the clasped hands to support that. So with the crown of the head on the mat, fingers are interlaced here. We'll keep a nice grip there and really, really think about pushing in. This is a very big mistake I think I see a lot of people do. You really want to push into your elbows and push into your forearms while your head is on the mat. So if you think about it, if you're not doing that, you're really risking your neck here and your neck, and you don't really have a solid, good foundation. Now, if you have that clasp and you're really pushing in and using, so this is where the shoulder activation comes in. You're pushing in and you're using those shoulders and those forearms. That's where you're going to get a good, strong, solid base, and it should help protect the neck. A good way to try out if you have somebody at home that could help you. When you have this correctly, you should be able to fit a thin piece of paper right under your head, because your head's not holding you up, right? It's your forearms, it's your shoulders, it's your core, it's a whole bunch of other different areas versus just the head. So here we are with the crown of the head on the mat, the top of the head on the mat, hands are interlaced. We'll have those toes tucked and the knees are still on the mat here. Now with a big exhale, begin to straighten out the legs and don't move, don't do anything else. Another thing I see here, which is kind of scary to me personally, is people who kick up into headstand. You're not really gaining anything from there. You're not learning to control. You're not learning to find your center of gravity. So instead of immediately just kicking up and hoping for the best, work on walking your feet in as far as they can go for you. The heels don't have to touch. They don't even have to be this close. If this is as close as they go today, that's definitely fine. So as soon as you get your feet in as close as they can go, whichever foot you want to play with, maybe you try just balancing one foot off the mat, and then you move to the next foot. Whichever foot you feel more comfortable floating, now really tuck that into the chest, guys, as you push off the ball mound of the foot that is on the mat. So keep a strong, firm foundation in the ball mound of that foot that's on the mat. And as we have the other foot tucked in close, you want to keep both feet close to the chest to find that center of gravity. Once you have that tuck, once you're pushing into the forearms, maybe then you slowly bring the next foot up off the mat to float. If this is as far as it goes today, that's great. Even if you're not there, you can always keep playing with it by pushing off the sole of the foot and then maybe switching to the next. So let's say you're here today and you get this one foot up, immediately try just closing it in. Again, keeping a good center of gravity. And don't forget to really push into the forearms and the shoulders, the elbows, and keep the core activated. Find a drishti, just something to stare at, and of course, always focus on your gaze and your breathing. And then when you've had enough, just simply walk them back out and just find child's pose. you can always play with that, I would suggest definitely if you're not comfortable balancing, away from a wall, you can definitely use a wall here too, or even somebody to assist with the hip creases here, keeping the hands on the hips while you go up. But I guess my main takeaway from this, I hope, is learning to slowly and controlled a way to get into a headstand versus just jumping in. So yeah, take the tips I just gave you and kind of this tutorial to work with your headstand here, and really remember the basics of what your body's doing to support you in this pose versus just trying to like put your head on the mat. Definitely do some prep poses, make sure the body's warmed up, get those shoulders open. If you're working on getting your feet, so obviously the closer, one more here before we're done. Obviously the closer you get your feet to your elbows, the easier it will be to control that up. So if you're working on that, definitely work on stretching out the hamstrings with downward facing dog, wide leg forward fold, a few different stretching positions for that as well. So hopefully this helps you out. If you guys do try this out and you can get some good headstands going or even practicing, I'd love to see it too. So tag me on my Instagram or leave some comments here as well and let me know if this helped you out. If you're looking for something different, what didn't work, what did work, I'd love to hear from you guys. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you want to look for some more, they should be right over here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also comment if there's anything else you'd like to see or something you'd like me to add or any questions. I'm always happy to answer.